Articles 52 to Article 62 of the Indian Constitution talks about the President of India, the most important entity holding higher order executive powers. Uh, we discuss how the President is elected and various aspects of the President's office. The next most powerful person, according to the Indian Constitution, is the Vice President of India. The Vice President of India in the Indian Constitution is discussed from Article 63 to Article 73. 10 articles. It talks about the Vice President of India. Now, why is there a Vice President for India? It's a very important administrative aspect. In the absence of the President, both formal and casual, the Vice President takes on the role of the President of India. At any point of time, the executive powers of the President must be vested on someone. Vice President has his own de facto powers, but still one of his major roles is to, on formal and casual vacancies, take on the role of the President of India. Now let us see what does the Article 63 to 73 say. Article 63 generally says that there should be a Vice President of India. That means there should be no point in time when the office of the Vice President is vacant. Article 63 very emphatically, most probably states that that's the interpretation of that. Article 64. Article 64, he is the ex officio chairman of the Council of States and shall not hold an office of profit. The man should not be holding an office of profit. He is the chairman of Council of States. Council of States means Rajya Sabha. Ex officio means by default. Whoever is becoming the Vice President of India is chairman of the Council of States. He has some role there that what the speaker does in the Lok Sabha. He is the head of that, the chairman, or he has got a executive power over the Rajya Sabha. Obviously, as I said, Article 65 of the Indian Constitution says Vice President acts as the President or takes on the role of the President, both in formal and casual vacancies. The President of India is going abroad, the Vice President of India acts as the President and takes on all the roles and powers of the President. Now, Article 66 talks about the election of the Vice President. Uh, Very good. Who is eligible to be Vice President of India? He must be a citizen of India. He must be 35 years of age and must not be holding any office of profit. He must not have any other job. That statement is created because he will be totally able to dedicate himself to the role to which he has been selected. Again, the Vice President of India is chosen by an electoral college. Technically, both houses of the parliament. They choose a Vice President. Someone nominates a couple of people, the procedure for nomination. Then the electoral college votes are counted and then see whoever gets the highest votes becomes the Vice President of India. Article 67 of the Indian Constitution talks of terms of office of the Vice President. Vice President can have 5 years term. He can resign from his office for his own personal reasons by offering resignation to the President of India. He can be impeached. Most probably impeachment motion can be moved. It has to be moved and passed both in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. He should also be in office until a new Vice President has been selected. That means even if his terms gets over, if there is a couple of months before the new Vice President comes to take office, he should continue as Vice President. So these are terms on which that role of the Vice President is designed. Article 68 of the Constitution says before the term of the Vice President ends, you must hold election for the next Vice President. Article 69 says the oath of the Vice President is given by the President of India. The oath. He is his boss. Now, very nicely written. Now, Article 70 talks about certain special provisions that the Parliament can make. It talks about the executive powers of the Parliament. Though the executive powers of the Union are totally in the hands of the President and the Vice President, certain executive role Parliament also enact. It has got certain powers over the office of President Vice President because obviously they can be impeached from their post through a motion in Parliament. Certain provisions that Parliament makes the President and Vice President of India must be able to ratify and agree to. But please, that's a specific case. Article 7 talks about the Parliament, executive powers of the Parliament, all the provisions to make executive decisions. Now, Article 71 of the Indian Constitution says disputes regarding election of President or Vice President will be adjudicated by the Supreme Court of India. And whatever the Supreme Court judges on this matter is binding on all concerned. Article 71 of the Indian Constitution. Article 72 talks about the powers of the President to give pardon that I've already discussed in the earlier session. And Article 73 talks of the executive powers of the Union. Please see what this is in detail. It talks about executive powers. I have discussed to you that executive powers of Article 70, Article 70, executive powers of the Union. That means technically it means every state within the Indian Union has got certain executive powers. Technically, it might mean that, and they can be sent for ratification to the Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, and effectively to the Vice President and President. The executive powers, are totally vested, but they largely come bottom up through the various administrative machinery of the country. I think, as I will repeat again, Indian Constitution is very well written. According to the Constitution, the President is the most powerful man. The next powerful man is the Vice President. Vice President acts in lieu of the President, and he has certain roles to play. And here, the modality of his election and generally what he is up to is what Article 63 to Article 73 of the Constitution says. Article 53 to Article 62 talks about the President's office. So this much regarding the Vice President of India. Now, the next session we will go to the Council of Ministers. This is P.O. Subhash from Bangalore, India.